Now let us see what are the data types in Java. Now before we move into the different data types that we have, let us see what exactly is a variable, how this is handled in memory. Now first of all, we need a memory location where some value is stored corresponding to the data type. And then we need to know what is the type of data that is to be stored in the memory location. And then we need to refer this memory location with some identifier. So we have a memory location where some data is stored, and we refer this data with some name that we call as an identifier. So for any variable that you have, you need three things to know. So for any data to be stored, we need to have a memory location where the value is stored. We need to know what the type of data is, because the memory location the memory allocated will depend upon the type of data. And third, we need an identifier to refer to the variable. We need some name which we use to refer to the variable. So in this case, as you can see, a memory location where we store some data, then we refer this data through a identifier name we call as my variable. So if we define a variable and assign it some value, let's see a small example of this. So in this case, my var is the identifier, 10 is the value that we need to store, but how many bits will be used to store this 10? So this will be decided by the type of the data, which is int. So since int is a 32-bit variable in Java, so this will assign a 32-bit memory to this variable 10. And you could always refer to this variable by this identifier or variable name we call as myVar. So this is how things are linked. A value that you need to store at some memory location, identifier that you can use to refer to the variable to that memory location, and third, what memory will be allocated, how much memory will be allocated, that would be decided by this data type. So this is the basics of memory allocation to variables. And now let us start with the different data types that are available in Java.